Mark's having a nice little sing-song on the in that caravan there. He's obviously enjoying his work today. I've even had a battery locker come flying open and the battery's like doing a skiing thing down the road. Of like, we get onto site, we've had a nightmare trying to reverse it in. Doris over the road, she's up the windows looking through the curtains laughing at us. So we're doing another newbie video. So if you're new into the market, or even if you've had a caravan for a while, I've got a list. So we're going to look at 5 caravanning mistakes that newbies start, and even people that have caravan for ages, it happens to, unfortunately. And what we tend to find is that if you've put the caravan away early, put say October, November, come back to it sort of March, April, we've probably forgot half the stuff. So we're going to go back through of sort of some of the mistakes that people will make, and things that you can avoid, and don't let these happen to you. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and drop us a comment. First mistake that we can make is not putting the legs down, basically. So when we get onto site, first thing that we need to do, sometimes we can be a bit excited, we're trying to get it off the car, we're running around, we're trying to think of all the different things that we need to do. Get your legs down, because if you don't, we go into the caravan, we go up to the back to get our water and waste containers out, or whatever we're going to the back for, and up we go, and it can damage the back of the caravan. Hopefully it won't, because if you're on a grass pitch, it shouldn't really cause any damage, but it can cause damage. It can damage the legs. Mark's having a nice little sing-song on the in that caravan there. He's obviously enjoying his work today. He's enjoying that today. He's living the best life. So make sure your legs are down.
I don't know who's here recording or singing.
We heard you singing. So I'm putting my legs down. So again, so just make sure we put all of our legs down. A little bit on the drill, obviously, makes life a lot easier. So just make sure all of our legs down before we go into the caravan. Now, something that we can do is, if we're still connected up to the car, we're all still hitched on, there's not a problem going into the caravan. As long as we're hitched on here, we can go into the back of the caravan, we can get anything out that we want. But as soon as that we've unhitched, legs down. Otherwise, up it goes. You're going to feel sick. You're going to feel like you've been on a ferry on the boat and you've got a bit seasick, and it could damage the back of the caravan, as we say. So second mistake leads us to the front of the caravan again, and it's all part of this thing of like, we get onto site, we've had a nightmare trying to reverse it in. Doris over the road, she's up the windows looking through the curtains laughing at us. The 3 of them go, oh no, this way, that way, that. Everyone's around and you're all panicked. You're like, bloody hell, I've like gone into the back of the caravan, it's gone flying up. I just want to get my car out of here now. I'm going to go down the pub or something. So before we disconnect the car, make sure that we take our breakaway cable off. This is one of the most common things that happens, is that we forget to take, we've got it all up. Right, okay, Mark says I've got to get my legs down. Right, I'm trying to think about all that. I'm trying to get away from all these people that are laughing at me. Don't forget, so easy. We sort of take it off the car, we put our handbrake on, we wind it up. Right, okay, jump in the car now, I'll move it. Snap. So make sure in your routine of unhitching, the handle goes up. We then undo our breakaway cable. We then put it around our jockey wheel, and we can see it there. Then we take our jockey wheel down, we wind the caravan up, we put our handbrake on, we lift up, off we come. We know our breakaway cable is there because we can see it. We've disconnected our electrics as well. Handbrake is on, off we come. Perfect, great. Jump in the car, move it, all done, dusted. That is one thing that is so easy to do and happens so often. If it does break, it's not a major issue. There's normally a big clip, if you can see underneath here. So we've got a clip underneath of here, and it will just normally pull that out. So they aren't that expensive. It's probably going to be £10–15 for a replacement, and it just then clips back on. But when you put it back in, just make sure there's a little eye here, so just make sure that it's fed through this little eye here, so where it runs through this place here, make sure it goes back through there, or you're going to have it all flopping about, which is no good for anybody. So again, something that happens, and it's going to happen. If it does, it's not a major issue, but something that we can prevent, just having a bit of a routine. So I'm pretty clever here. Everyone on the campsite, they've all been looking at me through the curtains and thinking, blimey, look at him reversing that reversing that caravan with his motor mover. He's done that, brilliant. It's straight in there now. I wish I'd got a motor mover. Now the one thing is not taking our motor mover off from the wheel. So we've put our caravan into place, we've then put our handbrake on, put our legs down. Make sure you disconnect the motor mover, because over, I suppose, a few days it's not going to cause a massive issue, but it'll just leave indentations, and there's too much pressure then on the actual springs, and it can cause problem with the mover. Same thing again. So we've got people up and down the campsite, people watching us. We've pulled it out on the mover. Look at me with my mover straight on the back of the car, no problem. Disconnect the motor mover from the wheels before we try and pull off, where you're going to look a right wally trying to drive down the campsite, the smoke all billowing off, and you're thinking, blimey, what's going on here? The caravan's got heavy. Have we put a few things extra in? No, your motor mover's stuck on, you forgot to disconnect it. So disconnect the mover. Make sure the motor mover has been disconnected before we drive off. Very easy to do. That one hasn't got it. This one has. And it's still not great, that one. This one's perfect. So we've hitched back up to the car. We've took our motor mover off. We've put everything all on. We've checked all of our lights. No problem. Ready for the road. Now,
check your flaps.
Make sure your flaps are locked in. Lock your flaps in. That is going to drive you mad. It drives me mad. You can see it in the wing mirrors just flapping like this down the road. So just make sure all of a lot. I've even had a battery locker come flying open, and the battery's like doing a skiing thing down the road, still connected to the cables. I've done it all, me.
I was there when that happened.
Might have been a slight over exaggeration, that, to be fair. But it sounded good. So again, when we've sort of connected all up to the car, we want to make sure all of our flaps locked into place. We've locked all of our battery lockers up, our external lockers. We've closed them, we've locked them, and we've given them a little pull as well. It's always worth giving it a little pull just before you leave.
Your flaps, give your flaps a little pull.
Well, you've already done your flaps, and you've just got to give it a little pull afterwards.
Okay.
Once you've done your flaps. Make sure that your battery is secured in place as well, so that, heaven forbid, if something were to happen and the battery was to fall out, and it's not going to do our skiing thing down the road, and you're going to see it flying all down the road. So just make sure that that is locked into place properly, and if anything did happen, it's not going to cause you any issues. So again, just a quick walk around. All of our windows, roof lights are all locked down. Make sure all the flaps are good. Right, we're good to go. I'm going to get into the car, and I'm not going to worry about doing all these extra little checks. Next one is draining our water system down. It's a funny one, because if you're using it next week, it might, you could argue that, well, actually, I'm going to save water, I'll leave it full. But what happens then if next week gets cancelled and then it's 3 weeks later? I like to sort of drain the water off.
It like being a bit after a week.
So just always drain your water off as you're sort of checking everything else inside the caravan. Pop your little thing in the upright position. Just get it up. Little yellow drain tap in the upright position. Open your taps up, and it's just going to empty all the system through. If we have any freak frosts, it's not going to cause you any issues. So that's a good one as well.
And I guess if you've got an onboard water tank, it's adding weight, so your fuel economy is going up.
Yeah, so again it'll be a little bit cheaper as well then. So the next one then is this video here. One of the sides not hitching up correctly, so go and have a look at that video, see what happened to me, which was very embarrassing again. And yeah, don't do that. So hopefully these tips have made life a little bit easier for you. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, drop us a comment and tell us all the things that have happened to you as well. We won't laugh, I promise. And we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. I'm Mark at the Caravan Place.